This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there, live.
Wrestling fans, as always, we were looking forward to being a part of the annual Cauliflower Alley Club reunion in Las Vegas. It was slated to culminate tonight with the annual awards dinner out in Sin City. For the obvious reasons, the reunion has been postponed. It's now scheduled for September, which for me is great. I think it's a better time of the year for the wrestling industry. Not so close to WrestleMania. That's just one man's opinion. While we can't be in Las Vegas physically this week, why not take a mental break from the stress and the worry and the unknown that we're all dealing with right now, and revisit some great award speeches. Here, let's check out a couple of guys we've been missing from AEW Dynamite each week, as Frankie Kazarian presents Christopher Daniels with his CAC award.
First and foremost, I want to say always truly humbled to be here, and my gratitude to all the men and women, especially those scattered in the first couple tables and all throughout this room, for the sacrifices that you guys did, and everything you guys did to pave the way so a guy like me could fall down for a living in this great business. So thank you to each and every one of you. Now, I couldn't really call myself a pro wrestler if I didn't come up here and not first put myself over, so that's what I'm gonna do. In 2005, I was blessed and honored to receive the Future Legend Award. And that night was particularly special for me because in attendance that night was my trainer, my friend, my mentor, the legendary late great Walter Killer Kowalski. Yes. And also Jesse Hernandez, who's been very, very important in my career. Now, 10 years later, I don't know if I'm quite a legend, so Cauliflower Alley, if you want the plaque back, my feelings won't be hurt. Anyways, this isn't about me, unfortunately. I'm going to talk about Christopher Daniels, my friend, who I met in 1998 at Jesse Hernandez's pro wrestling school in Southern California. When I met him, Chris was already a big deal on the Southern California independent scene. I knew this because he told me. We quickly became pals. As the years rolled on, we found ourselves booked on the same shows in California and then everywhere else, and started in a company called TNA around the same time and spent a good 10, 11 years there. And during that time, I formed a bond with Chris and two other guys, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and formed really a brotherhood, so much so that those guys stood up with me at my wedding, which was the happiest day of my life. And I'm not saying that because my wife hits harder than I do, it really was. But it's cut it short, it's been really a privilege to watch Chris's career from afar and up close, sometimes too close. To me, a good wrestler, a great wrestler, is somebody who you can be in the ring with and become a better performer just for having been in the ring with them, and somebody that you can put anyone on the roster in the ring with, regardless of height, weight, age, experience, and that person can work with them. And Christopher Daniels absolutely fits that bill. So, I'm honored to present the 2015 Men's Wrestling Award to my friend, the second best looking member of the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Christopher Daniels.
Yes, please sit down. There are much more deserving people that are coming up later, so please save your standing ovations. So, please bear with me. I was going to rap my speech, but Oscar beat me to it, which shows why we need agents for the baloney blowout. I don't remember a time when I wasn't watching professional wrestling, when I wasn't a fan. So if you were someone that I only watched once, if you were someone whose name I read in Pro Wrestling Illustrated or Inside Wrestling, or if I watched you every week on TBS or ESPN or any of the myriad of television shows that I watched as a kid, Saturday mornings and Sunday evenings, I thank you for paving the way for me. But the one person that I have to thank more than anyone else is Sean Waltman. Sean Waltman was the man who changed the idea of becoming a pro wrestler from a pipe dream, a pie in the sky, to a possibility. His experience in the ring made it seem like this was something that was within my grasp. And if every person who was inspired by Sean came up here and said 5 seconds of thank you, we'd be here for years and years. So I hope Sean understands how much he changed professional wrestling for people like me to be able to come and do what I do for a living. So thank you, Sean. Sam DeCero, Mike Gratchner, Kevin Quinn, and Brett Sanders, the people that I trained with, that I trained side by side, or the people that trained me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Mike Moran, one of the original Texas Hangmen, was the first person who took me under his wing and told me why to do things rather than how to do things. And for that, I'm forever grateful. It wasn't until 1996 that I moved to California, and when I did, I thought, I didn't know there was any wrestling out here on the West Coast. I thought I was gonna have to give up my dream just 3 years in, and if it wasn't for Bill Anderson and Jesse Hernandez opening the doors of the School of Hard Knocks to me, I don't know what I would have done. So thank you guys for allowing me a part in your school. To the people who helped me, like Victor Quinones, who made it possible for me to wrestle Taka Michinoku for the very first time, which got me over in Japan. To Jim Cornette, who helped me in many ways in the WWE. He helped get me into Dory Funk Jr.'s Funking Dojo, which got me on the East Coast and used by promoters like Jim Kettner in the ECWA, which started a long career for me on the independent scene. Roland Alexander, who helped me on the West Coast in APW. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the opportunities that those people gave me. As a professional wrestler, if you get an opportunity to be a part of a locker room for a long period of time, it's a blessing. I had the good fortune of being a part of 2 locker rooms as they opened and grew, both TNA and Ring of Honor. So thank you, Jeff Jarrett and Dixie Carter, for the opportunities that you gave me in TNA. And thank you, Gabe Sapolsky, Adam Pierce, Hunter Johnson, and Kevin Kelly in Ring of Honor. Thank you, Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor, I think I probably took years off your life bothering you with all the questions I had, all the times that you gave me something and I questioned because I wanted to know why so that I didn't have to ask again. I'm sorry if I made your hair gray or made you pull your hair out or frustrated you at any point. Thank you so much for every moment that you ever gave me of your time. I'm indebted to you forever. Kevin Sullivan, the first person who ever gave me a job at WCW, thank you very much. Bob Ryder and Jeremy Parash, who helped get my second job in WCW, which many of you may not even know about because it was so short. They don't even call it a cup of coffee when it's that short. It's more like a shot of espresso. And then more than anything, because this business is what it is, you depend so much on the person across the ring from you. And so I'd like to thank some people that I had the opportunity to be in the ring with more than once. Mike Modest, who was a gentleman that I had the opportunity to wrestle in many places, who was there in the ring the day I almost broke my neck in WCW. Thank you, Mike, for not making it any worse. Low Key and Brian Danielson, who helped me get started in Ring of Honor, who helped build that company. And then the 2 people whose careers I will always be associated with because of the rivalries and the friendship that I've made with them, Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. And over the course of 22 years, I've had the opportunity to tag with a great many talents, whether it was Elix Skipper and Low Key, or Donovan Morgan, or Matt Sydal, or AJ Styles. But truly, the best and brightest of those people that I got the opportunity to call my partner is my friend Frankie Kazarian. Frankie, the words partner and friend and brother are inadequate to express my feelings for you. And for the last 3+ years, this grand game of tickle butt that we call Bad Influence and the addiction, I am so proud to walk every aisle I've ever walked with you by my side. Thank you so much. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Lisa, who ironically couldn't be here tonight, but has always been there for me. Lisa, you are a better spouse to me than I could ever hope to be. And I hope that being up here and having this makes you proud. You and the 2 children that you've mothered for me, I thank you so much for all of that. And finally, thank you to all of you. I hope that I continue to earn your respect every time I walk into a ring. Thank you very much. Stop. More deserving people are coming.
I'm proud to have been involved with the Cauliflower Alley Club since attending one of their rare Northeast reunions back in September of 1995 down in Newark, New Jersey. If you're unfamiliar with the CAC, it's a nonprofit organization that exists to help wrestlers in need with life emergencies, medical bills, and in many cases, funeral expenses. There's no other group like it. Membership dues are only $25 per year, and there's a hell of a reunion each year in Las Vegas. To join or for more information, simply visit caulifloweralleyclub.org.